slides. I just want to walk through here what I mean by this. And so in many respects, I'd like to say we've gone from a first generation approach. And if you see on the left-hand side, it was a very simple phishing attack. It was a bad email, a copied and paste, a PayPal logo, and with the intent to steal credentials, steal your username and password. Again, very easy to discern. You could tell in many respects it might have been written by a bad Russian dialect or some other nation state actor, and send it through your Yahoo email or your Gmail, but very easy to discern and detect. What is very different, and we really saw this past year, with the access to tools these bad actors have today, like they've never had before. You have effectively the combination of very, very low cost compute, open source AI models, meaning I can actually take these artificial intent machines, intelligence machines, to generate attacks. You combine that with basically known behavioral information that you can source out of the dark web or LinkedIn or any other place they can get information about you, and you automate attacks. And so what this has done is it's now created a recipe for the bad actors to create extreme havoc, really what I would call across your digital attack surface. And so what I mean by that, you now have the ability, these bad actors are launching these attacks minute by minute. It's no longer just hours, days, weeks, and they're launching these attacks may live for 24 hours, 48 hours, and then they go away and they create a new one. And I should add one final danger aspect to this is these attacks look like they're coming from legitimate infrastructure. And so what I mean by that, it looks like it comes from the Google domain, or it looks like it comes from Adobe's domain or Microsoft's domain. And that's specifically what we're going to talk about today. And that's the reason why I wanted to invite Atif on here as it relates to Microsoft 365. So we are seeing a significant evolution and generation of these attacks. They're extremely targeted. They're coming across different channels of communication. So let's talk about a little bit with Microsoft 365. Why is the attack surface opened up so much there? A, it's the most popular productivity tool out there on the planet. B, you not only have email, you have OneDrive, you have Teams, you have other communication channels, right, that I can reach a Phish to you, and I can target it with very specific information. And this is the reason what we are seeing right now. Not only are we seeing a dramatic increase of these attacks, second, the target of these attacks, and third, the success of these attacks has never been, it's really unprecedented, particularly this last year. And the reason for that, if you look at all what we would call the first generation of tools, first generation of defenses, whether that be your secure email gateway or your proxies or your firewalls or your endpoint security solutions, even some of the new ones, they were all tuned to stop that first generation attack, that bad, Russian email that copied that PayPal. And fundamentally, what we've seen, number one, as I said, you have to be able to not only detect and respond to these particular attacks, but most importantly, you have to detect those at time of creation, because if you don't do that, you're going to have these attacks evade these current environments. And specifically, again, we're here to talk about how they're evading the Microsoft 365 defenses that almost everyone has in place today.
Great point, Patrick. Here's a question that came in from Steve. He's asking, really with so many attackers hitting Microsoft 365, should we just keep our, Exchange and Office on premises? Should we even be considering moving to the cloud? What's your take on that one?
I don't think necessarily it's just because you've, quote, moved to the cloud. Obviously, you have internal Exchange environments that also allow the emails in, right? Or you have internal collaboration tools that folks are running. So it's not necessarily just a quote, cloud service-based a reason why people are being attacked. It's more of the way people communicate and the open channels that they're able to now access. And so Microsoft 365 just being a very, very popular way to, again, not only do email, but collaborate through Teams and share documents. It's opened up that attack surface. And second, again, because of how Microsoft's own tools are designed to catch that first generation approach, it's a reason why we see upwards of 80% of these second generation attacks get through a Microsoft 365 environment. And that's not just unique to Microsoft, it's unique to other folks, whether it be on the G Suite side, whether it be on, again, other productivity tools, other social channels. It's just that every one of those defenses were tuned to stop that first generation, very easy to detect, almost a static type of attack, versus these very targeted, sophisticated attacks that are generated by machines. You're going to go where you have the most success. And if it's the most popular tool out there, obviously you're going to attack that particular tool.